streak to 8 games to start the season, with the surging Toronto Rock in town to start their 2-game Western road trip in the province of Alberta. Lacrosse fans, and thank you for joining us on the Lacrosse Network for tonight's tilt at Crystal Glass Field, live from Rexall Place. I'm Kevin Howard, and with me for tonight's broadcast is former NLL defender and NLL coach Chris Stashnick. This Edmonton team is on the verge of tying a league record, beginning a season 8-0, held by the 93 Bandits, which they went on to capture the title. Now, Chris, this Edmonton team seems to have things rolling right now.
Yeah, they seem to be working well on both ends. They're obviously known in the league for having a great defense. They're a big physical group. They keep the goals down, obviously, but their offense the last couple games really been starting to click with, I think they had 17, 14, and 15 goals. Another bonus is that Toronto hasn't won on the road yet this year.
Yeah, big test for Toronto coming up against a red-hot Edmonton Rush team. They do have their hands full, and it will be... Let's go to the anthem. And there's the anthem from a small group of children in the house. They snuck up on us, little squeaky voices in the background to get us going here. As we're saying, the Rock are putting up some pretty impressive stats, led by Garrett Billings, the league's leader in assists and points, and definitely a strong supporting cast on offense for this Toronto team.
Yeah, Toronto can do it from the inside and the outside, Kevin. As you know, you got Billings and LeBlanc who can fire the bombs from the outside. Then you have Sanderson and Doyle down on the crease, who, as they've gotten up in years, are tending to be more feeders for the young guys to throw the ball in the net. But, of course, those guys are always dangerous, and they're top 10 guys all time.
And, yeah, definitely two, well, great players in Doyle and Sanderson. I would say surefire Hall of Famers and guys who have put up big stats over their careers. And go to the starting goalies. We have Aaron Bold in the Edmonton Rush crease tonight. A very impressive 7.97 goals against average on the season. And across the floor you have Nick Rose with the 12.16 goals against average. As Toronto defense has struggled a little bit lately, but they should have a little help with Chris White coming back and Patrick Merrill hot off the IR, so they'll be back in the lineup tonight and looking to fill some of those gaps for this banged up defense.
Well, yeah, both Merrill and White are gritty defenders who have been around for a long time, so they're going to bring some stability and calmness back to that defensive end. I think the biggest difference for the two goaltending situations is that Bold's a real physical, active, fit goaltender, whereas Rose is a bigger guy. He doesn't move as well side to side, so I would look for the Rush to be swinging the ball back and forth, try and get him off his posts.
And I think definitely the strength of this Edmonton team is built on defense. Being a defensive coach and a defensive player, what's making Edmonton so strong and so cohesive this year?
Well, I think it's their athletic ability. I think they're all big guys who can play a physical brand, but they have quick feet. They got great sticks. I would say this is probably one of the best defensive units we've seen in the league in the last 10 years. They're young, they're fast, they're mean. They play aggressive everywhere. It gets them in trouble sometimes, but most times they got the foot speed to catch back up with the players.
Well, and this offense, this Edmonton Rush offense, they're putting up some pretty big numbers, and they're without Ryan Ward and Corey Small, two offensive leaders that they had last year that they are without this year. How are they getting the job done on the offense? Because they're putting in a lot of goals.
Well, they're getting it done by committee, Kevin. They have some young guys who are stepping in, chipping in 1 or 2 goals. Their transition's been great. Obviously, with Thompson on the draw all game, he's winning a lot of draws. He's running the floor and chipping in as well.
And I think definitely an unsung hero for this Edmonton Rush team is Jeremy Thompson, who's been phenomenal in the face-off dot. He's not known as winning it cleanly like a Jeff Snyder or Bob Snyder, but he just does exactly what he needs to and tie it up and give his wingman a chance to get in there.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job. He kind of came out of nowhere with the draws too. I hadn't heard a lot about him before he got to the league, but he's really stepped into that role and excelled at it.
And a good transition player, chipping in offensively as well. So here we are set for the face-off. We have the referees for tonight in LaBranche and Hart, the shot clock operator Adam Crow, and the Edmonton Rush will go from our broadcast right to left. And Toronto coming up with the ball early. Now the Rock settling it down, moving the ball around, waiting for the Fogo. A little rough stuff. Corbeil in the corner, dropped the gloves.
Oh, got an early tilt here.
Scott Johnson and Chris Corbeil, two big bodies, going at it early. Corbeil getting some shots in the back of the head. Corbeil unloads. Johnson can't get his arms free. Good tussle, jockey for position. And grab it, little lefts, and Corbeil. He's got that bomb cock, just looking to line up, and they're pinned up against the board. Good tilt, good start of emotion for both teams.
Wow, Corbeil right off the hop, jumped on Johnson. That's definitely a decision going to Corbeil. He got on top of him, tied his right hand up, and I'm sure he landed about 6 or 7 haymakers there on top of his head.
Well, they were just, you see both of them kind of just leaning back, waiting for that opportunity to squeeze one through, and Johnson never really got great positioning, and that's a big part of a fight, is getting your hands in there and getting a good hold of the jersey. I'm sure Corbeil's got a little neck burn on that too, which is one of the sorest parts of a fight. If it's not your knuckles, it's the back of your neck from the jersey.
I can tell you from wrap up there, those guys are going to need all 5 minutes just to get their breath back and recoup.
So here comes Toronto coming back in on offense. Josh Sanderson moving around. Stephen LeBlanc.
Number 88, Scott Johnston. 5 minutes for taking him.
Back on this side.
That's 5 minutes each for fighting.
Josh Sanderson moving it around. Big body, Colin Doyle setting a pick. There you see Garrett Billings. Remind me a lot of Blaine Manning likes to pull that move where he comes in and flips it back. And other way, here comes Edmonton.
Yeah, the only thing Billings didn't do there was go to the left hand and throw a one-hander from outside like Manning used to do.
Classic Blaine Manning, Sherwood Park native. I'm sure he's happy to be home in front of some friends and family watching the game as he's now one of the assistant coaches on the Toronto bench after a long time career with this Toronto Rock franchise. And around comes Church, good shot on net, stopped by Rose.
Well, and as you can see there, Toronto's speed on defense isn't what it used to be, and so the young Edmonton legs can take advantage of it. He just ran right around the defender up the gut.
Here you see Garrett Billings with the ball, moving over to Colin Doyle.
D.
And here you can see why how potent this Toronto team is with LeBlanc, Doyle, Sanderson, and Billings all out there. And Casey Beard's just a natural goal scorer.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here early is how aggressive that rush defense is, Kevin. They're right out on the bodies, and they're making the Rock work for their 30 seconds.
There's Knight, passed it off to the corner. You can see the speed, the transition speed of this Edmonton Rush team, really forcing the issue and making this Toronto Rock team get back in the hole early.
Yeah, Edmonton's taking advantage of the new 8-second rule for sure, and they've brought the speed in the league now. And
big hit by Jared Davis, penalty coming up to the Edmonton Rush.
Oh, I don't know about that call. I got to see that again. That looked like a clean hit to me, clean cross check to the shoulder.
It looked very clear. I'm not sure what He is. And it looks like LeBranch is calling it hit on the back. I'm not sure I agree with that play. It looked like a very clean hit.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Here it is again. I think he's on the shoulder there, but I guess that's the referee's decision. LeBranch has been around for a long time. He knows what to do. He knows the calls. He's seen everything.
You know, and lacrosse is a very tough game to call. I mean, it's very much discretionary on the refs. He can hear a lot about it from the bench if he calls it a certain way. All the players can ask, and all anyone can ask, is that you get some consistent reffing, that if he calls that the one way, he's going to call that the whole game, and at least players can, you know, get the feeling out period out, know and expect what's to come from the refs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, all the player really wants is that the game's consistent on both ends.
So here we get a look at the Toronto Rock power play. LeBlanc setting it up. Big shot. Rebound, scores! LeBlanc picking up the rebound and popping it past Aaron Bold.
That's just a case of the defender not blocking out the offensive guys coming in on the rebound, picking up the garbage right along the crease there. Right here, Mitski turns, faces the goalie instead of looking at who's coming in. Not much of a chance there for Bold.
And I think that's one of the big things that these defenders have to do is they have to box guys out. Broken stick there.
I didn't see what happened there, but it broke it and threw it across the floor.
Here comes Rob Hellier. Pleasant surprise for this Toronto Rock team. Solid save by Bold, come back the other way. Here you see the fast transition by the Edmonton Rush.
Yeah, 3-on-2 right away, big body up the middle.
There's a quick shot by Matthews getting involved early. Haven't said his name yet, close to 5 minutes in. Edmonton Rush is going to want to get him involved.
Yeah, Matthews is key for their offense to get clicking here. Right now they look a little gun shy, Kevin. They look like maybe they're thinking about that 8-game winning streak and not just focusing on playing.
Thinking about the outcome instead of the process, as you're well aware, some of the sports psychology used over the years. Good pickoff by the reigning two-time NLL Defender of the Year, Kyle Rubish. And again, starting that fast transition game.
Got to give Toronto credit right now. Their O guys are coming back. Looks like whoever made that hit in the middle there, looks like he might have winded himself getting back on transition.
And it looks like Rob Marshall head down to the bench and is having a breather. Can't catch his breath right now as Edmonton moves it around. Big shot! He scores! Riley Lowen from the outside. A rocket over the shoulder of Rose to tie this game at 1.
This is one of the young guys we were talking about earlier, Kevin, contributing when he needs to. Toronto Rock seem to back off on the defense here, almost challenging or daring him to take the shot, and Riley steps up and puts it over Rose's shoulder, short side.
Riley Lowen picking up his 10th goal of the year. Just a little bit of a miscommunication on defense, and he capitalizes. Big time breakdown. This game's tied at 1.
It's 1-1. We got the ball back. Are we done?
And Edmonton putting their getting a delayed call, so of course pulling Bold, having 6 guys out there, and Matthews ripped one from the outside. 4 seconds on the 30. 2-1 Edmonton. Maybe should have set it up and run a little bit of a play there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. He must have saw something from where he was, his vantage point was. He must have saw a corner on Rose, because it's not like Matthews to fire that far out with that much time left on the shot clock.
And here Bill Greer gets a penalty for hit from behind. And we'll get a look at this Edmonton Rush offensive power play unit, and set up by Corey Conway, setting up the house, moving the ball around. He's got the big, heavy outside shot.
Toronto's playing a traditional box defense on this, so they're going to let Conway take the shots from up top. Great save. Rose got himself out of position there, trying to play the ball behind the net.
Church with the ball now, moving it back to Conway. Over to Matthews. Pumping it up. You know he wants to let that go. Pumping twice. Behind the back pass. Shot on net. Saved by Rose.
Not a very good outside shot from Church there. Hit Rose right in the jersey lettering there. Toronto will take those shots all day long. I think Edmonton has to try and get the ball moving, cross, hit the seams.
And get some of the creasemen involved and get some of those heads turned and rotating around.
Yeah, they're standing still right now.
And here you see the Toronto offense just working the ball around, keeping it to the outside. Rubish working him over. And shot, terrible rebound.
Edmonton has to do a better job of boxing guys out after the initial shot. That's 2 now we've seen where they've gotten their own rebound and killed some clock or scored.
Now Zach Greer bringing it in up to Mark Matthews, over to Conway. You see a little bit more ball movement. Yeah, you got to have more ball movement than just playing a pass at the top. Matthews scores! Breaking through the middle. Get a little ball movement, little bodies moving, good things happen, and Matthews breaks it down by streaking right down the pipe.
Well, there's a difference from the first set to that set, Kevin. You clearly saw it. They got the feet moving. It's one thing to move the ball, but once you get the defenders turning because bodies are flying through the seams, it confuses everyone. That was a great goal. Great little pick up top here on Matthews' man. Leaves him wide open in the middle.
And they got the ball moving down to the corner. Little over-the-shoulder pass by Conway. And Mark Matthews buries it over the short side shoulder. Power play goal for Matthews.
Edmonton's looking like they're settling in a bit now. Kevin, they're running their game. They're a little more aggressive on offense here. A lot more movement.
Jarrett Davis fighting for this loose ball. Good battle going on in the corner.
There's no love lost between these two teams or franchises, I can tell you that.
Well, we're going to take a breather. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
New team gear for the season by visiting the NLL shop online. Go to shop.nll.com for the best prices and selection on clothing and accessories for all 9 teams. With flat rate shipping and no hassle returns, the NLL shop is place for things NLL. Visit shop.nll.com today, powered by Fanatics.
And welcome back. I'm Kevin Howard, joined with Chris Stashnik for this evening's game. A great battle so far. We've taken a look at both teams' power plays, and 2-1 the Rush lead the Rock right now, and here comes the Rock offense back on the field. LeBlanc down to captain Colin Doyle, moving it around.
What's he got?
Over to league leader Garrett Billings, getting a shot. Hasn't really settled in yet.
No, and again, the Rush doing a great job. I mean, other than the one goal on the power play there, the shots have been coming from the outside on Bold, and he's going to handle those all night.
And good strip by the Rock D. Zach Greer trying to do it all himself, and gets the ball back, moves it back out to Lowen.
Toronto defense starting to play a little bit of that aggressive defense too. They're really chasing the rush team and forcing them too, and they had a great defensive set there. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, you almost see all 5 of them up at the restraining line, really just challenging them to, beat them one-on-one.
Well, I mean, Kevin, let's be honest here. The Toronto Rock was the first team that really came out with that pressure defense with Troy Cordingley, and, teams have followed that since by getting athletic bodies, and so everyone's doing it a bit more now.
Yeah, the Calgary team emulated it, and of course with Devin Ray coming to the Edmonton Rush, really that's the strength. And really, I mean, you can play any system, but you've got to have the athletic bodies and the athleticism to pull it off and do it successfully.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have the foot speed, then you can't get out and chase. And if you don't have confidence in your goaltender, you're not going to chase because you don't want any inside shots coming.
And here comes Mark Matthews bringing it in. Good two-man game over there with Riley Lowe and the big body. Church battling hard for that loose ball.
6 bodies fighting for the ball. This is that defense again. Toronto's not backing down. Like you said, they're pressing them at the restraining line, and it's game on.
Swarming all over him. Another 30-second violation. If anything, these Toronto Rock defenders got to be getting a little bit tired just because this Edmonton Rush offense is using the full 30. But they have to get some quality opportunities. They aren't getting a sniff right now. This Rock defense really shutting the door and keeping this Edmonton team at bay.
I agree with you, Kevin, though. I think what Edmonton's doing is right. I think they're better athletes, in my opinion. I think they can wear the Rock team down.
LeBlanc one-on-one up on Dilks, working him hard. Big pick by Doyle. Ball goes across to Hellier. Moving in, they're strong right on this set. Beats him underneath. Billings. And good defensive set by the Edmonton Rush. Moving the other way. Quickly in transition. Here comes Captain Corbeil. And Zach Greer wasn't expecting that pass. Little sloppy play there, and headman breakaway. Billings scores! Breakaway! Goal by Garrett Billings. Great shot, 5-hole on Aaron Bold to tie this game at 2.
Billings is the last guy you want on a breakaway from Toronto. Leading the league in points right now. He's not the guy you want left back there all by himself. And really, that's just, like you said, sloppy play. Greer wasn't expecting the pass. He would have been in on a breakaway had he caught it. And just an unfortunate turnover.
And Garrett Billings really just slow getting off because it was a fast break the other way. Billings got lucky, turned it, and hey, waved his hands, I'm wide open. And a little bit of a gift, and the league leader adds to his point total. Long shot from the outside, Aaron Bold with the stop.
I don't think the Toronto coaching staff is going to be happy with that shot by LeBlanc. There was about 26 seconds left in the shot clock when he fired it. They need to give their defense a bit of a break here because Edmonton's been coming hard at them all first quarter.
Here you see that pressure. Conway running through the middle. Possesses all sorts of weapons. Got a big, heavy outside shot and a big body to go to the net, too. Good defense. Great defense. Rob Marshall coming up with the ball, and there's Lowen. Big jarring hit by Billick. A defensive surprise for this Edmonton Rush team. Oh, wrong one off the post.
I don't think Bold was expecting that shot coming. I tell you, Hellier's really stepped in nice this year with Manning's retirement. He's been putting the ball in the net quite a bit.
Colin Doyle over to Casey Bearns, scores, buries one on Bold, and that's the 3rd goal of the game for this Toronto Rock. They're on pace to put up some numbers tonight.
Well, and they haven't all year. You know, Kevin, they've had 28 goals in the 3 road games they've played. They've lost all 3. So this isn't typical of them on the road right now to be putting up goals early on.
You see Johnson and Thompson battling for the ball. Still loose. Then picked up by Captain Corbeil, running it in. Shot on Rose, big stop. Scooped up by Jesse Gamble. Keep an eye on that 8-second clock. And they get it over just fine.
Sorry, Kevin. Edmonton started out like they were kind of squeezing the sticks, and they look to settle in. They look like they're squeezing the sticks again here at the end of this quarter.
They just definitely don't feel comfortable, and it usually takes them 10 minutes or at least the first quarter. But against a high-powered offense like this, you have to match them.
That's great defense again. I mean, Edmonton's pressing them outside, and they're doing a great job.
Here you see Cornwall running the floor that he's done all season. Finding Church, getting stripped, going to the net hard with 22 seconds. This Toronto Rock pressure defense is going to stop that all the time.
I don't think Edmonton's seen a defense with this much pressure this year, to be honest with you. Can you think of another game? I don't think Calgary's even pressed them this hard.
No, they haven't had time to get it in and really just set up the play. They have bodies on them and they can't make up their decisions. Make up their minds and make good decisions. Sloppy play continues on both sides.
Wow.
Billings stopped by Bold. Big stop, gets his arm out. Another big opportunity by Billings by just maybe going to the bench a little lackadaisical.
And maybe he knows something we don't know about not running off hard.
Yeah.
Wait for the turnover and you're there.
This is good. You got to be good to be lucky, I guess, right?
That's what they say.
Now Edmonton rush. Garrett Davis over to Matthews. Working hard, swim move. Finds Conway in the middle. Another 30-second shot clock violation as we go to break. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
The best way to get ready for the weekend's action is by watching NLL Live every Thursday night on the Lacrosse Network. Catch the show live at 8 Eastern or on demand anytime at the home of the Lacrosse Network, youtube.com/TLN. This past Thursday's guest was one of the league's rising young stars, Dane Smith of the Buffalo Bandits.
And welcome back. It's a 3-2 Rock lead here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Shots are 8 for the Edmonton Rush, 10 for the Toronto Rock. And you know, the Toronto Rock really just have, it seems like they've more than tripled them in shots, but only a couple more. Edmonton's offense just doesn't seem to be settled or feeling comfortable at any time.
Yeah, they're definitely unsettled, Kevin. Toronto's applying a little more pressure than they're used to, and I think that TV timeout couldn't have come at a better time for them. I'm sure Coach Keenan sat them down and said, boys, we need to relax here, quit squeezing the sticks. You guys are all pros, let's run our systems. Don't panic, take your time, use the clock.
And of course, so much has been made about this winning streak, this 7-0 and potential 8-0. I think that's exactly it. They might be thinking of the outcome and worried about, setting history or tying a big mark set for this league.
Yeah, and obviously, Derek Keenan was on that 93 team, so he knows what it takes. You don't win the league championship in the middle of the season. So, you know what, boys? It's not about getting records. It's about winning games and improving as the season moves on.
And lots to go in this season. Big shot from the outside by Greer, stopped by Rose. Good offensive rebound for this Edmonton Rush team. Cornwall pick it up and going off for some fresh legs.
Again, the transition generates a shot on net. You get the ball back. This is where defenses get worn out when they have to play 2 or 3
Big
sets.
pick and roll. Mark Matthews scores! Great two-man game with Zach Greer. Mark Matthews, one guy you cannot leave alone, scores to tie this game at 3.
Great pick and roll. Nowadays you don't see a whole lot of that working where the man's that wide open. Obviously the defenders had a miscommunication there and they both went to Greer. left Matthews down low all by himself, and he's going to score 7 out of 10 on those.
And here you see Mark Matthews, a big pick, little misstep there on defense, and Mark Matthews slides underneath, and Zach Greer, they play that two-man game so well, finds him for his second goal of the game.
Great battle there by Jesse Gamble. Went in between 3 rush players, grabbed the ball, got knocked down, and still was able to find his teammate from the floor.
See Garrett Billings. Everything on this offense seems to go through him, finding LeBlanc. Big stop by Bold. Offensive rebound by Billings. Another big stop by Bold, and almost squeaks in.
Nice shot, but what's he got?
Oh, great transition chance here.
Big stop! There you see Curtis Knight,
1 minute remaining.
little foot race off the bench to get that odd man opportunity.
Both teams are starting to spread the floor now. There's a lot more room out there, and they're running it. They got their feet moving now.
Here you see Josh Sanderson, Colin Doyle coming around the outside, shoots around the screen. Big stop by Bold, picked up by Corbeil, and here you go, Cornwall off to the races.
Both teams are doing a great job getting back on transition for defense, too. Toronto had 3 guys back there on Cornwall, even though it looked like he was going to be in all alone.
Here's Jarrett Davis over to the corner. Riley Lowen finds Conway. Little spread. Rock defender without a stick. You might want to capitalize on that. Nope, picks it up. And another 30-second violation.
Goalie's coming now. They're going to pull Rose for the last 10 seconds.
7 seconds left. See if they get a shot away. LeBlanc. Bell goal! Great broken play. Finished by Casey Bearns with .08 seconds on the clock. The backbreaker, usually the Rock score their 4th of the night.
Well, Kevin, as you know, in this league, every coach preaches no goal in the first minute or the last minute of any quarter or half. Those ones take all the air out of you. The Rush they just thought the quarter was over and let the guy come right through the middle.
Why they wouldn't pack it in and really just defend the house, I don't know. But they were chasing a little bit. But there you go. There's the 4th goal for the Rock. They pull ahead 4-3 at the first quarter's end. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network. (4-3), the Toronto Rock lead the Edmonton Rush to start the second quarter here. And, defensively, the Rush have been incredibly tight all season, only allowing 54 goals against coming into this game, which is an average of just under 8 goals per game. You take a look, of course, you don't have to be a math wizard to figure out the Toronto Rock are on pace for 16 goals this game, which would double the average, and they do need to tighten things up and find a way to stop this high-powered offense.
Well, I think what's happening right now, Kevin, is that it's just they're unsettled right now, and it's starting on the offensive zone, and the defense is pressing a little bit too much right now. They need to get back into their system and play some solid D.
So the face-off group goes off. Jared Davis bringing it in, moving it over to Riley Lowen. Down the side to Mark Matthews. Moving it around to the right side. Two-man game. Mark Matthews, good dish in the middle. Nick Rose picking it up and bombing it to a streaking Damon Edwards.
I'm really surprised he threw that ball.
That was really a squeeze play. It wasn't there. Tried to force something. Even that pass.
This looks like a preseason game right now with all the drop balls out there.
Guys, just not feeling it. Little sloppy play right now. See if the Toronto Rock offense can settle it down. Josh Sanderson, very calm player, quietly gets his points.
That's whose stick you want the ball in if you want to calm things down. You're not going to rattle Josh Sanderson ever.
Hellier over to Colin Doyle, back to Billings. Big shot, stopped by Bold.
What's he got?
And Bold comes up throwing. Brought in by Edmonton. Over to Lowen. See a little bit more ball movement here.
I think this is what Matthews has to do. Matthews has to wreak havoc in the middle. He's got a great outside shot, but that big body, when it goes through the middle, not many guys can stop him. They're just not moving, Kevin, right now, the offense.
You know, and you're talking about Mark Matthews. He's a big body. He's tough to contain. They almost have to send a double team, and that creates offense and space and chances for other guys out there. Another sloppy play. Just threw it away.
Doyle was not looking for that pass at all. Now he's trapped back on defense.
Here comes Minsky. Rips it over the nets. Stopped by Jeremy Thompson.
This is where you want to try and expose a guy like Doyle. But there's a couple rush defenders playing offense too, so it's kind of a mixed bag out here right now.
And Curtis Knight with a big heavy shot from the outside. 10 on the 30.
Wow.
Pass over the head, and Colin Doyle playing some solid defense. And ball picked up and brought up the floor by Marshall.
I'd be curious to see what the turnovers are right now. That ball is not hitting mesh, I can tell you that.
Unforced turnovers too.
Yeah, easy passes, uncontested passes, again.
And here comes Hellier. Moving it down across. Good battle. Here comes Byrne's shot. With 1 on 30 shot. Oh, off the post. Big break for Edmonton. And Aaron Bold, that one wide open net off the pipe.
Yeah, I'm sure Aaron would have liked to have had that first shot back. He kicked out a big rebound there where he could have swallowed it up.
Big shot from the outside with 17 seconds on the 30. Just ill-advised plays right now. And both teams settling it down. Colin Doyle bringing it over. And Colin Doyle looking a little slimmer than he has been in the past. Looking a little more nimble. Moving quite well for such a big body.
You know, Doyle and Junior, John Grant Jr., they both said this year that, you know, they've focused on their fitness. They're not getting any younger, Kevin. I think they're both 37, 38 now, so fitness is what they need to take care of.
Stick around, take care of your body, and stick around and, you know, keep breaking some of those records. And he has been putting up the numbers in this career. A very phenomenal career for Colin Doyle. Around comes Lowen, big shot, shoulder saved by Nick Rose, scooped up by Zach Greer and taking it out to safety.
30 seconds left and we got
moving the ball around.
Come on, Rush!
Here comes Rush, attacking from the right side. Riley Lowen, back to Matthews. Little two-man game. Big cross check going down. Loose ball push called by LaBranche, and Edmonton Rush are going to get another offensive set, keeping this Toronto Rock defense on the floor. They've got to be a tired bunch. That was a full 30 seconds of hard defense.
Yeah, this is where you have to take advantage of a tired defense. This is where you really have to push hard and go after them.
All around the world shot by Mark Matthews. Great stick work to get a shot away. Big stop by Rose, and they pull up the ball quickly. You see a little pressure offense on Billings. On his hands constantly. Big shot and a goal. Aaron Bold being left high and dry all alone. Colin Doyle streaking through the middle and popping it over the shoulder of a 6'2" Aaron Bold.
And Doyle just loses his man, LaFontaine, cutting through the middle. Pumps Bold once and then puts it over top of his shoulder. He's one of the best, eh, Ken? We watched him for a lot of years. He got his 500th goal last week, and he is, like you said earlier, he's destined for the Hall of Fame, and he's not a guy you can let get open in front of the net because he's going to bury it.
And the Colin Doyle watch continues. He is 2 points away now, shy of 1,300 points on his career. So we talked about how good of a career he is having. That's how good a career. 1,298 points. Those are some pretty impressive numbers.
It's really amazing.
But we are off to break. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
The next Toronto Rock home game is 2 weeks from tonight on Saturday, March 15th, as the Rock hosts the Rochester Nighthawks. Game time at Air Canada Centre, 7 p.m. For tickets, visit torontorock.com.
Well, welcome back. 9:57 to go in the second quarter. The Rock lead the Edmonton Rush 5-3. Shots for the Rock, 22. And for the Edmonton Rush, 15. Seen a very sloppy game thus far. Not a whole lot of ball control, not a lot of set possessions. And when this Edmonton offense has had the set possession, this Toronto Rock defense has done a phenomenal job at just keeping them to the outside. And tick-tock, the 30-second runs away and they don't get an opportunity.
Yeah, you can see they have the Edmonton offense's timing off.
Underneath, beats his man a one-on-one. Billings with the loose ball. Back up to Hellier, swinging it around. Sloppy behind the back pass. And good D by Rubish. Long loose ball. And Minsky pulling the ball up the floor. Little slow break off the bat. Matthews with the shot off the end boards and over the top.
That was very, very un-Brett Minsky-like. Usually when he's got the ball and he's got that much floor, he's going to the net, take a shot. I was surprised he passed that one off, Kevin.
Yeah, he can put up, he can bury, and of course sometimes when you see a defensive player coming down the floor, sometimes he doesn't know what he's going to do, let alone how does the goalie know what he's going to do. But he can snipe. So here's Garrett Billings. Working against Jared Davis. Stripped down, Hellier with the ball. Moving it through, the captain Colin Doyle. Over to Josh Sanderson, moving it through behind the net. And around here you see them setting up a two-man game. Now three guys, three bodies over, playing strong right. Garrett Billings working hard against Billings. Gets a shot away. Baron Bold picks it up and comes out flying. Here we go, 2-on-run rush. Big shot by Matthews. And stripped. Corey Conway drops the ball. And great loose ball by Kyle Belton.
That's the one thing. The loose balls are being fought for hard on both sides. They're not giving each other an inch on the boards. I'd like to see a few less loose balls, though. I'd like to see the ball up in the air and in the stick a little more often.
Yeah, it's been a mucker's game thus far, not too much finesse going on. Hilliard, big arc diving across, gets a shot on him, but lands as a crease violation. Edmonton rush ball, and this Edmonton team changing the troops.
Tonight, thinking to yourself, boy, I wish I was louder at that rush game tonight.
Coming through Matthews,
Make some noise, Rex.
off to Lowen. And here you see a little bit more body movement from this Edmonton rush squad. You see him buzzing around and dropping the ball again, picked up by Marshall, making it very easy on this Rock defense. Running him over, Marshall goes down now, and here we'll see another loose ball battle, won by Jeremy Thompson at the time. 3 Rock offensive players there and come up. Surprising, Rubish didn't even put up a fight there, just scooped right up and another pick.
That was a great stick there by LaFontaine. Because they had 2 guys behind the net, that would have been a sure odd man out in front.
You know, this Edmonton rush team is great at creating turnovers, and there you see good sticks turning the ball over by picking off passes.
Another turnover, ball came out of Matthews' stick again.
It's Sandy Chapman with the pick that time. There's another player who's put together a great storied career, been with the Toronto Rock team for a very long time.
Yeah.
Had some time with Rochester.
NLL Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago with Toronto.
Big shot by Josh Sanderson, corralled in by Bold, and he comes up passing. And here we see Brett Minsky with the ball. Off to Matthews.
Fortunately for the Rush so far, Toronto's play's been pretty sloppy too. Otherwise, I'd be scared to see what the score might be.
Riley Lowen over to the right side. Here you see Conway with a big rip from the outside. He lets the bomb go to pull Edmonton within 1.
What a great shot. Looked like from up here, he went top corner, short side again on Rose. That's a couple that have gone short side on him. I don't know if Rose isn't holding that post or if he's cheating to the other side for that cross crease pass.
And maybe Rose not checking his post and finding out exactly where he is, but that was from way outside, just inside the restraining line. He lets the big overhand rocket go. Very tough to see out of the stick when it's coming from that high a trajectory, but a good pick up high and a big bomb from the outside. And here come Edmonton again. Johnny Lintz with the ball, pulling it over half.
Let's give it up and make some noise. Go, Rush, go.
And off to Curtis Knight, the second year forward for the Edmonton Rush. Over to Matthews. Working hard with Zach Gray in the 2-man game. Hits a body in front. Goes wide for 30-second shot clock. And here comes Hostrauser. Ball comes down to this right side. Back over to Stefan LeBlanc. Another one of these great young guns that this Toronto Rock team has. Over to Hellier. Ricard trips up. Thompson trips up. Casey Beard streaking through. Now working hard. Now another 30-second shot clock violation. So both these defenses are really holding their own and keeping guys to the outside. It's not for lack of trying, because they are sending a lot of picks and a lot of body movement, but they just aren't getting the chances.
Yeah, there's a lot of, both offenses are moving the ball fairly well. What I'd like to see on probably both sides, though, is swinging the ball from side to side a bit more. They're running up and down the lanes, either on the right or the left. Something like that. That's what they need to do. They need to cross the floor there and get Rose moving post to post.
With the score of the Rock 5, the Rush 4, we're live from Crystal Glass Field at Rexall Place. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
You can watch any NLL game from earlier this season on demand, thanks to the Lacrosse Network. Just go to NLL.com and click on schedule from the main menu bar. Scroll to the game you'd like to watch and click replay. It's any game, anytime from NLL.com and the Lacrosse Network.
And welcome those of you watching on the Lacrosse Network tonight, being treated to a very blue-collar game here. Not a whole lot of finesse on this chilly evening in Edmonton. Western Canada being treated to a doozy of a cold snap here the last couple days.
Yeah, the crowd's actually not too bad considering the weather we have here, because it is cold. It's unseasonably cold, Kevin.
Yeah, tough time for Toronto to be swinging through Western Canada. He just drops the ball. And Toronto often. Colin Doyle gets the ball right in front, going to the net hard right off the bat. Aaron Bold stands tall.
The thing about Colin Doyle is he's never out of the play. You think he's through the lane, he doesn't have a chance to catch and shoot. There it is, in his stick in the net most times.
And he's got a way that he just kind of lulls guys to sleep, and I wouldn't call it unorthodox, but it almost is. He's just kind of dangly, and you don't know how good of a chance he has, but he gets it. He can bury, one of the best pure finishers this game has ever seen.
I remember a night in Toronto where he lulled me to sleep for 3 goals, Kevin.
No. It must not have been a slide coming, I guess. The goalie must have had an off night, because you wouldn't let anyone beat you for 3.
He's been great in this league for a long time, as you know.
Here comes Jeremy Thompson with that great speed coming over center and just slowing it up, and him changing, getting Robert Church out here for some fresh legs. Corey Conway moving the ball.
The timing's just off. You can see the timing's off on Matthews.
Riley Lowen, Nick Rose stands his ground.
Nice turnover.
I think maybe Edmonton got away with one. I think maybe that was Conway going for the scoop that.
I think it was in Toronto's stick, and he hit his stick and knocked it out. LeBranch got that one.
Penalty coming up, delayed call against the Toronto Rock. And here we're going to see a whistle as Greg Hart blows it. A holding call against Damon Edwards. So we're going to have our second look of the night at this Edmonton Rush power play. A little bit of a different look. Traditionally, we've seen Mark Matthews set it up, but tonight it's been Corey Conway. And this Edmonton team is 1-for-1 on the power play. And it looks like they're going to come with this same look. Have Mark Matthews as the shooter, Zach Greer down on the crease, Church and Knight in the shooter position. And here they come, working the ball around. Toronto playing the traditional box, maybe a little bit of a split box. And Edmonton breaking it down early, big shot off the crossbar. Mark Matthews getting that rebound, keeping it from going over the half.
It was a great play that Coach McComb must have drawn up there. Similar to the first goal with the pick coming across the middle. This time they throw 2 picks and open up the middle wide open.
Big heavy shot, and it's surprising just having a look at how far back this Toronto Rock D is. They're right at that crystal glass logo. I mean, they should be bombs away from the outside. Corey Conway, watch for him to step into one, or Mark Matthews coming around the top.
Yeah, they're almost daring.
Shot and scores!
Looks like the Rock defense is almost daring them to shoot from outside.
And Church does exactly that from the shooter position. He buries one, 5-hole on Nick Rose. Power play goal for the Rush to tie this at 5.
The Rock defense is locking off the crease men, but they are leaving those 3 guys 20 feet out. Uncontested. They could be firing like it was a practice almost.
But you can see where Corey Conway's right up at the top, and they're just, again, daring him to shoot. And Church does exactly that and makes no mistakes. They've got to get out on those sticks. So here comes this Rush offense again.
The biggest difference this year with this Rush team compared to years past, I think, Kevin, is that, I would say to their standards, they wouldn't think they were playing great, but they're not giving up any goal. They're not giving up any runs. There's no 4 or 5 goal runs coming on them. They're containing the offensive output on the other end.
That's to say, you got to stop the bleeding, and it's a game of transition or momentum. And it's the teams that can put up 3, let 1, and stop the bleeding right away and go on their own run of letting in or burying 2 or burying 3. That's the difference in this game, and of course face-offs being a big part of it.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job. I mean, like I said, they've struggled. We've seen that, but they haven't let Toronto get any space or separate themselves from them.
And Damon Edwards being penalized again, and here comes this Toronto Rock penalty kill back out to stop this power play that has gone 2 for 2 for the night. Working the ball around. A little bit of a forced pass there, knocked down, scooped up by Church. And you know Corey Conway wants to let that go. Church with the shot on net. Great loose ball by Curtis Knight. And you see Corey Conway finding his way back up to the top of the power. Oh, you can tell he wants to
fire that.
And LeBranche calls a stoppage.
Timeout Edmonton. It's a funny time to call a timeout. They waited till there's only 12 left on the shot clock.
Well, maybe Jeff McComb is just seen enough and saying, you know what, if they're going to give it to us, take it. And you know what, it should be just a shooting gallery. Maybe just a simple set play up at the top where, Corey Conway maybe goes and sets a nice easy pick on Church, and he gets the pass from the other guy at the top, or gets a pass from down low coming up, and just let it go. Nick Rose has not seen the ball that well tonight, and they've been having some success of ripping it from the outside. Corey Conway, Church, 2 of the 5 goals specifically step out in my mind that they were just bombs from the outside.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like you said, Conway's 3 feet above the crystal glass sign, and why he doesn't just fire away is beyond me. Stretch that defense out a bit, get him up high so you can start going back to the creases.
And Corey Conway's bomb from the outside was right inside their restraining line, so that's half the distance to the goal. And Mark Matthews, big stop. Timeout Toronto. 18.4 to go in the half, and now Toronto gets a turn to settle the troops, get their offense out there. Well, I'm sure they'll pull Rose, and they'll go 5-on-5. Probably not go for an opportunity. Maybe just spread the field and make sure that they do get out of this half unscathed without allowing a goal.
I'm guessing right now Jimmy Quinlan's probably telling the D, okay, we're either jumping on the first or the second pass. They're not going to let Toronto set up and get 3 or 4 passes. They're going to go on the ball quick, try to get the ball moving so a pass gets dropped. Oh no, they're going to keep Rose in net.
So, and of course the ball was whistled dead deep in the zone, so Greg Hart stands with the ball. And of course they'll either use Rose or just put the ball right in Stephane LeBlanc. So what Toronto did there was they called the timeout to get their offensive guys on the floor, so you have the best stick handlers with the ball and not some of your defensive guys trying to run the field. And here you see a foot race against Cornwall. 2 very quick guys. Big pick.
Oh, he called the trip on that, I bet.
Penalty to the Toronto Rock.
And Josh Sanderson gets tripped up. Greg Hart sees it.
Just a straight interference call, I think, there on that pick that Sanderson set.
And of course, Josh Sanderson getting the worst of it. He's limping off to the bench right now, and I don't think he meant to. I think maybe just momentum got the best of him, and he bailed on his way.
I think he stuck himself out there. Sure he did. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call by the ref.
That was a pretty hard pick, but Josh Sanderson, all 5'9" of them, I think definitely got the worst of that. So we'll see a 6.3 second power play here. Great clear shot. They're just giving it to Corey Conway. Not respecting him at all, and with Corey Conway's numbers, he's got 1 and a couple assists already here tonight. He definitely could be more of a threat and could have some bigger numbers if he keeps throwing the ball, or taken some of the opportunities that he's actually given.
Well, I think they're going to have to go to Conway until Toronto stops them or goes after him. Because right now he's the open man and he should be taking whatever they give him because they're giving him a lot of space.
So first half in the books, tie game, 5-5. Some of the offensive leaders for this Toronto Rock team. Garrett Billings, no surprise, leading the way with 1 goal, 3 assists. A handful of guys with 1 and 1. Stephane LeBlanc, 1 goal, 1 assist. Colin Doyle adding to his Hall of Fame numbers at 1 and 1. Casey Behrens finding the back of the twine twice with 2 goals, and a couple guys with single apples. For the Edmonton Rush, Corey Conway leading the way as we spoke of, 1 goal, 2 assists. Mark Matthews with 2 and 1. Curtis Knight helping out with a couple apples. Riley Lohan 1 and 1. Robert Church 1 and 1, and Zach Greer pitching in with a single assist. So really, I think the difference there, I think it was just sloppy play. I don't think there was really any 1 or 2 great plays or players that defined that half.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's always the balance. Is it sloppy play, or is it great defense? Is it big aggression that's causing those turnovers? I think it's a bit of combination of both. Obviously, on the Edmonton side, their timing's been off. They're not getting set up like they're used to. Looks like they settled in a bit at the end there, but they seem to be making decisions that they wouldn't normally make, cutting through the middle or setting picks. And I think they'll talk about that at halftime and get back into their rhythm.
Well, we'll discuss more when we're back. Stay tuned for a new feature, a look into this league's stats, standings, and leaders from around the league.
Welcome to NLL Halftime. Hi everybody, I'm Dave Walls of the Lacrosse Network. Be sure to take to Twitter and let everyone know how your team is doing. Let's take a look and get you caught up on all the NLL action from the past week as we head into Week 10 of the 2014 NLL season. Week 9 may have only had 3 games on the schedule, but all 3 featured exciting comebacks in action that had NLL fans screaming for more. First, out in Calgary, it was an exciting matchup between the Nighthawks and the Roughnecks. With the Nighthawks leading 9-6, Calgary mounted a 5-0 comeback, highlighted by goals by Dane Doby and Curtis Dixon, both of which were featured in the TLN Top 10. Dixon's amazing behind-the-back goal gave Calgary a lead they wouldn't relinquish, winning the game 11-10. From there, we head to the Air Canada Centre, where the Minnesota Swarm battled the Toronto Rock, and Fight Night was out in force. Both teams dropped the gloves early and often in a physical matchup, combining for 100 penalty minutes on the evening. Toronto captain Colin Doyle got career goal number 500 just before halftime to give Toronto the lead. However, Minnesota kept it exciting with an 8-1 run in the fourth quarter, highlighted by Jordan McIntosh's 5 total goals and an amazing behind-the-back goal by Brock Sorensen. However, it was too little too late for the Swarm as they fell to the Rock 14-12. The following afternoon, the Swarm battled Philadelphia down at the Wells Fargo Center, and despite a great effort by Kevin Crowley with 10 points and Pat Saunders with 4 goals, it was Logan Schuss's 5 goals, including the natural hat trick in the fourth, that gave the Swarm an exciting comeback, 15-14. Let's take a look at the standings and see how these games have affected where your favorite team stands. Buffalo remains off in Week 10, but sitting atop of the division with a 6-2 record. However, with their loss to Calgary, Rochester now sits 1 full game in back of the Bandits with a 5-3 record, facing the Colorado Mammoth on Saturday. Toronto, meanwhile, has separated themselves from the pack, solidifying their spot in third place with a record now of 4-4, just 2 games back of the Bandits. However, Toronto has a tough Week 10 schedule, battling Friday night against the undefeated Edmonton Rush at Rexall Place, followed the next night by a trip to the Saddledome to face the Calgary Roughnecks. Toronto doesn't win both these matchups, they could let either the Philadelphia Wings with a record of 3-7 or the Minnesota Swarm at 2-7 back into the playoff race. Meanwhile, in the NLL Western Division, a tight playoff race has gotten even tighter. The Edmonton Rush currently sit alone atop the division with a perfect 7-0 record. They face a tough Toronto Rock team Friday night at Rexall Place. Meanwhile, the Calgary Roughnecks, with their win over Rochester last week, have now moved to a record of 5-3, just 2.5 games back, and they face that same Toronto Rock team Saturday night at the Saddledome. Meanwhile, the Colorado Mammoth sit in third place at 4-6, 4.5 games back, and they face a tough test on Saturday night at the Pepsi Center as they take on the Rochester Nighthawks. The Mammoth need a win to expand their lead over the Vancouver Stealth who take Week 10 off with a record of 3-7. That does it for this edition of NLL Halftime. Thanks for watching. Make sure to take to Twitter and let us know how your team is doing at the half. We'll get you back to your game in just a moment. This is the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Crowley now up top. Here's a shot and a score! Garrett Poole. The Army cadet unloads the cannon from outside, fires it in.
The physicality in this game has been tremendous. A dish and scores! Step in the block. What's a hat trick off of the hard work by Damon Edwards.
Looks for the give and go. Keeps it himself. Here's a shot. Beautiful save. Rebound. And oh, a beautiful save that time by Zach Higgins. Tell you what, if you're doing a goaltender play for the NLL top 10 right there.
Jamison now, nice move. Jamison, another move, scores! Cody Jamison with a highlight reel goal, and it's 4-1 Rochester.
Rock recover. They're ability enclosed, wide open cage. No chance for Higgins. Beautiful blind pass to Sanderson. And that's the 5th goal of the night for Toronto. High ball trying to make the move now. Doyle couldn't get away from the pick. To the left side, like that. Doyle rears back, scores! Number 500 for Captain Colin Doyle of his career. As time expires in the half. 7-4 Toronto.
Play, Carson hangs on, now to Doby. Doby behind the back, scores! Jay Doby with a pretty goal. It's 5-4 Rochester.
Gets to go. Swarm. He gets some shots on behind the net. Trying one more time for the same thing. And it counts. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jordan McIntosh with 3 goals. His 5th of the night. 3 goals.
First lead. Evans. Now to Dixon again. Dixon with a step. Dixon to the net behind the back, scores! Curtis Dixon! What a goal! Calgary leads! Curtis Dixon is feeling it right now.
Physical specimens. Pass got blocked partly by Sorensen. Outlet pass. Finds Sorensen in stride. He goes back behind the back, and you want to talk about Sports Center goal?
Oh my
Brock
goodness!
Sorensen, who hadn't scored coming into the night, had his second off balance over the shoulder behind the back count.
Radio offers the best online radio coverage of the National Lacrosse League. Listen on your smartphone. Just download the popular Tune Radio app and find NLL Radio. Hear the latest episode of every show anytime on your phone. For more information, visit nll.com/radio.
And at the half, we have a tie game at 5. Shots for the Edmonton Rush, 26 apiece for the Rock as well. And the Edmonton Rush will be starting 5-on-3 for 45 seconds. They've been 2 for 3 on the power play so far. Really a perfect 2-2 because their 3rd and 4th opportunity has not yet begun. But really capitalizing on it, and the Toronto Rock power play is 1 for 1. They did score on a 6-on-5, and we are deadlocked at 5. Really not much of a storyline. I do want to talk to Jeremy Thompson. We talked to him right at the start of the game of how much of improvement he's had over the whole season. He is 75% in the face-off dot. 9 out of 12. Face-offs are a hidden, very important piece. Possessions, everything in this game.
Yeah, that's huge. That gives Edmonton 6 more possessions off the draws than it does to Toronto. 75%, that's Jeff Snyder numbers. I mean, and Jeff Snyder's the only guy in the league who has those numbers. As good as Bobby Snyder is and Jay Thornburg are, no one hits 75%. So this face-off here is real critical, Kevin, as you know, because they have an opportunity here to score a couple goals with the power plays, and getting possession early is key. And you know what? This is a part of the game here where Edmonton really needs to focus on putting the ball in the back of the net, starting on with a bit of a run here early in the half, and building off of it.
And the Rush defense tightened up there in the second quarter, only allowing 1 goal after letting 4 in for the first quarter. And we are underway with the possession call for the Edmonton Rush, and in comes Matthews. The big body Matthews moving it in. 5-on-3 over to Conway. Behind the back pass. Just Curtis Knight back to Conway. Pumps it twice. Curtis Knight scores! Curtis Knight pumps one far side, puts it short side. Nick Rose did not move, and he just snuck that one under the glove for a power play goal. Very timely goal because the Rush stay on the power play.
Great ball movement, and as you see out there on a 5-on-3, typically the offensive team will leave a guy high so the ball doesn't go over and back, and they'll play a 4-on-3 to open up the floor. And right there it was just a matter of numbers, and one guy had to be open, and he was open down low and finished great.
And Corey Conway with just a good sneaky over-the-shoulder pass. After again, you have to get around there because he's going to fire that all day. And of course, as soon as that defender jumps, a little sneaky pass down, and Curtis Knight making no mistake on that.
That's a huge goal for Edmonton. Again, we talked about scoring in the first minute of a half or quarter in the last minute. Now they have an opportunity to put one more by Nick Rose here before they get to even strength. And if they can put one here, Kevin, I think they might be on their way.
Now Church over to Matthews, over to Knight. A good wheel going here. Conway in the middle. Little bit of a forced pass, knocked down by Damon Edwards, who had 4 minutes in penalties right to end that first half. So good athleticism running the ball.
Yeah, not a traditional wheel there with that pass. Usually that'll set up to the shooter, not force it down to the crease. A little surprised they threw that.
And here you see Toronto trying to use the full 30. Shot clock differential to the penalty is about 22 seconds. Garrett Billings passing through the middle. LeBlanc picking it up. Crease. And we're going to see this Edmonton Rush power play for another 20 seconds.
Edmonton has to be careful here that they don't fire a ball late in the shot clock off the back boards with Sanderson coming out of the bench.
Church over a screen off the pipe. Interference call was the call anyhow, going the other way, and off to the races come Toronto. Sandy Chapman moving in. Shot, big stop by Bold. And of course out comes Sanderson. We got 5-on-5 lacrosse back out on the floor.
Well, good job by both teams there, really. They kind of split the difference there. 1 goal on 2 power plays.
Loose ball picked up by Zach Greer. Moves it over to the big body Matthews. Good stick. Matthews just off the outside of the net. I think half the crowd thought that was in. Zach Greer underhand through a screen. I'm not sure Nick Rose saw it, but off the net and out of bounds. Coming back Toronto ball with Garrett Billings. And Nick Billick on him. Good check. Going through Colin Doyle. Billings switching hands. Back going right. Hellier moving it down, working. Good 2-man game. LaFontaine struggling to get around that pick. Here's Hellier. Good defensive stand by the Rush in the 30-second shot clock. Of course, them getting off and getting some fresh bodies. Mark Matthews leading the charge for this Edmonton Rush offense. To Riley Lowen. Church. Back to Matthews. The ill-advised shot. I'm not sure what he was seeing. We had a pretty good vantage point of what he was looking at, and he rips one from the outside. 9 seconds on the 30 with not a great opportunity.
I think that was just a case of him, getting a little frustrated out there. They're playing him pretty high. He turned the corner, and instead of continuing on, he just fired the ball.
It looks they're right on him, and they're right on his hands, not giving a lot of times, and I think that is the case. He's just getting fired up. It's the same man. I got to try something to get it going. Cornwall giving him underneath, passes over to Doyle. Behind the back pass. Josh Sanderson trying the diving play. Good stop by Bold.
Sanderson does not look like Westerfeld from behind the net trying to slam it, does he?
No, he's giving up about 8 inches and about 2 feet of reach. Edmonton Rush offense. Robert Church moving it down to Knight. I
tell you, Kevin, I'm really impressed with how Toronto's defense is playing tonight. they're not giving Edmonton a whole lot. They're locking out on the hands on the Edmonton shooters, and they're letting that ball dump down to guys who aren't traditionally known for scoring goals.
And the biggest thing is they're really doing a great job of locking them out and winning those loose ball battles. It always seems there's 2 or 3 Toronto blue jerseys right on the spot, and they're usually coming out with the ball.
There's the makeup call. There's the same call they called Sanderson for. Hard pick, interference.
And Jared Davis, who's not a very big body, Jared Davis coming in, they have him listed as a very generous 6 foot on the list. I would say he's maybe 5'10", but he sets hard picks and very, very effective offensive player. Lays the boom down there and gets called. Not a great call, like you said. I have to agree with you. Probably a makeup call for that early one on Sanderson. Here's LeBlanc moving it over. Colin Doyle.
Great stick by Dilks there, stripping Doyle of the ball.
And Corbeil finding Dilks, who did strip the ball with the bright white shoes. And of course, Edmonton slowing her down. And Knight, little pump fake. 13 left on the 30. The minute 20, still the kill on that power play for Toronto. Little off ball cut by Greer. Little sloppy, drop the ball, and coming the other way for Toronto. And here's Billings.
So far, Toronto really hasn't run anything on this power play.
Hellier sitting it up. Colin Doyle down on the crease. Udors. Bad pass. Foot race. 52 seconds left in the rush penalty to Jarrett Davis. 6-5 the rush lead. And when we come back, we will see the tail end of this power play. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League.
And 9:12 to go in this third quarter. Edmonton Rush getting a lot of opportunities on the power play, and I mean that just tells a story that this Edmonton team is giving this Toronto Rock team all that they can handle. Of course, when guys get tired, bodies start breaking down, or they start losing a step, that's when holding calls start coming in and the sloppy play begins.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what needs to be mentioned here, Kevin, you mentioned it earlier, the Rock had 4 goals in the first quarter. Looked like they'd be trending for a big night. The defense of the Rush has really shut them down now and only given them 1 goal in the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, 20 minutes with 1 goal, and of course this Edmonton team going right back to playing to their strengths. And here you see Corey Conway playing a little keep away up at half, and that real quick pressure defense by Sandy Chapman right up all over him. You have the rover right in the middle. Here you see a double team coming down on the side. Good opportunity. A little wild shot by Mark Matthews.
Yeah, Edmonton did a great job killing the clock there. We've got 20 seconds left on this power play, so Toronto will have to set up real quick here. They'll be looking to get a quick shot.
And Colin Doyle moving up the shooter. Big shot from the outside. Loose ball scooped up by Rubish. A little bit of a hook there. I think Toronto might have got away with one, and this should all but do it for this power play.
They absolutely got away with one there. LeBranch was blocked out, and Hart was watching the bench change.
Here comes Davis getting rocked by Damon Edwards. Back up to Mark Matthews. 17 team working the ball around. A cutting Curtis Knight. There's Nick Rose scooping it with the big trapper and moving that ball up quickly. Seems to be the key to many offenses, getting it out of the goaltender, sticking up the floor. Catching some defenses off balance a little bit. Colin Doyle working a little bit with Stephane LeBlanc. Hellier missing that. And you see Jeremy Thompson on him tight. 2-1. Great job by this rush defense to limiting, well, no opportunities at all. And the only chance they do get is a terrible shot from the wrong side, well over the net.
Well, and you can see now what typically happens in a game when the offense is struggling. Guys get it in their stick and they try to do too much. They try to take the ball to the net themselves and they quit moving the ball.
Matthews with the shot off the post and up and over. LeBranch signals Edmonton rush ball. And it started from the corner, back up top to Conway. And over the QB of the offense, Matthews. Moving down to Church. Looking short side, scooped up by Rose. And here comes Marshall. Really emerged as one of the league's more solid transition players. Play both sides of the floor. At times elect to pass it off and head to the bench. Colin Doyle working against two. No look pass to Sanderson, finding Behrens gets checked. And here comes the rush. Greg Hart signals in from too many men.
Edmonton. You don't usually see that call on the offensive end of things.
Well, there's no need for that. They had two bodies going. You can't give that one. You can't go that one against. Against the bench. I think Curtis Knight maybe just got a little overzealous there and was off to the races. This penalty served by Jarrett Davis, who is the in-home. Each team assigns an in-home before the game starts, and any bench minors, any penalties, they must be served by that in-home player.
And of course, a couple years ago, Kevin, that would have been a penalty. They changed that because offenses were cheating. It used to just be a possession change. But now you cheat early, you're in the box even if you're offense.
And you know, I know Mark Beret, a good friend. He's the equipment guy, and you know what? He always feels so bad. He'll lose sleep thinking that was his fault. And you know what? From up here, I need to think that Curtis Knight was just getting a little anxious and left early. We can't pull that one on Beret.
Well, a lot of times you can't stop the guy. He's going through your arm there. He's forcing his way onto the floor.
As an offensive player, I didn't like the gate guy touching my jersey or touching my elbow. And you know, a lot of times I'd be off to the races and I'd get a handful of jersey and I'd get choked out by my jersey because there's a guy with a mitt full of my shoulder pads pulling me back into the bench. Colin Doyle setting up this power play. LeBlanc moving around Sanderson. Big shot! Big shot! Passes it down to Casey Behrens for his hat trick. Great setup play. Garrett Billings. Great play by this Toronto Rock offense on the power play, working around to tie this at 6.
That's vintage Josh Sanderson. Steps into the middle. Looks like he's going to fire it. Bold has to step out. He hits the guy on the crease, and really, Mitski played Billings great on the crease. He didn't bite on that shot. But Bold had to step out on Sanderson because you got to respect him as a shooter.
And that was Casey Behrens for his third goal of the night. And there you see Josh Sanderson quietly getting his points, but that was a phenomenal play on the power play. Great set play, and here we see this Toronto team coming alive. Good face-off win by Scott Johnson, and Jesse Gamble moving it over to Hellier and looking to get things going. Hellier been very quiet tonight.
He has, and you know, Kevin, like you said, in a 6-6 game, there's not much of a storyline, but at this point, I'd have to say power play is the storyline. Both teams are capitalizing on the PP. 5-on-5, there hasn't been a whole lot of anything, maybe 2 goals on each side.
Well, rips one off the crossbar, heads back, fresh new 30. Josh Sanderson stops that. Great grab from keeping that ball from going over and keeping the foot on the gas pedal. Little swim move, working the ball around. LeBlanc, point blank, stopped by Bold. LeBlanc jumps in the crease and swipes it away. Edmonton Rush getting lucky again. Dodging a bullet there, and really the Rush have to take this TV timeout and really calm the troops and gather the horses here. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
best way to enjoy the great moments of the NLL weekend is to catch the top 10 plays exclusively from the Lacrosse Network. Every Wednesday following the weekend's action. Visit youtube.com/TLN to see if your favorite play made the cut. If you see a play that's top 10 worthy, tweet about it at Lacrosse Network and include hashtag NLL Top 10.
A great spot to catch up on all your highlights and catch any games in and around the league. NLL Network is the place to see it.
I got to tell you, Kevin, I look forward to that Wednesday thing because there's always 10 great goals in this league every week.
And you know, this league is catching on right across North America. Some highlight plays, and they're making all sorts of headlines. The ESPNs, the TSN. There's some phenomenal talent out here, and we're being treated to a great, evenly matched battle here tonight.
Yeah, not a lot separating these teams, Ray. As a matter of fact, there's nothing. Both 31 shots, 6-6 here in the third quarter late. I think we're going to go right down to the final buzzer if things continue the way they're going.
And here comes the Edmonton offense, led by Mark Matthews, working hard. That two-man game, Riley Lowen and Greer basically trading off, working with Matthews on that left side. They've got to be tired because, you know what, they have to work for every one of their opportunities, and really, this Toronto Rock defense has their hands full, and they've done a great job at keeping some of the snipers at bay.
Yeah, clearly the Toronto coaching staff's game plan was not to give Mark Matthews a single inch of turf out there because they are on his hands every second of every shift.
And Colin Doyle getting a little fancy there, flipping that ball away, and scooped up by Rubish, and away comes Johnny Lintz, crossing over center. He knows his role quickly, moves it off to Jarrett Davis, and gets off to make way for Curtis Conway, who heads back for a lefty. Head to the bench, Sacker shoots, big stop by Nick Rose, gets a glove on it.
I'm not going to reference anyone, but that was a chicken wing save. I'm sure he thought he had the goal there, but the arm came out at the last second.
Comes Toronto, big pick. Billings getting a little room, freed up. Back this way to left side, Doyle moving it back for Billings. Casey Behrens working hard, getting in the dirty areas. Shot from the outside, easily saved by Bold. And there's Behrens sniffing for that loose ball. Comes up with it in the corner. Reset.
Bold was fighting that one. He couldn't find it in his feet at all.
And there you see the hustle of Garrett Billings. A good reason why he's up at the top with the points. There's work ethic right there, chasing down that loose ball. Big stop by Aaron Bold. Great pass down to Josh Sanderson, and he gets a stick on it. Big hit. Billick needs to get quick. Moves it over. Got to get over half. 8-second rule. Conway moving up the floor with it. Good wheels for Curtis Conway. He's a righty, caught on the right-hand side. Delayed penalty coming against Toronto. So the Edmonton Rush have 8 seconds, 7 now on the 30 to get an opportunity. 6 on 5, broken play. Church down to Conway, down to Knight, and they won't get an opportunity away.
I don't think Conway knew how much time was left on the shot clock there. He made an extra pass that he didn't have time for.
He should have just, let one go underhand and try to make that instead of trying to make that fancy over the shoulder pass. Little rough stuff. Here comes little pushing and shoving.
Edmonton needs to be careful here. They don't need to get a penalty after the whistle. Toronto's going to be in the box. We know the power play's been the difference so far this game. Both teams are, and it looks like, are they taking someone else?
Well,
number 17, do me a favor.
No, just LeBlanc.
I think, Corbeil was up there, I think, looking to get an explanation of what the call was, because maybe it was looking like they were going to call it a different way, but they did just call the original one. Stephane LeBlanc on 2 minutes for slashing. We're going to get another look at this Edmonton Rush power play, who has been very potent here tonight, and going with the same unit set up by Corey Conway up at the top. Big rip by Matthews. Nick Rose gets a shoulder on that.
I'm really surprised that Toronto's still playing so far back in their zone.
Big leaping. Zach Greer almost gets an opportunity and couldn't have the reach. Alligator arms couldn't reach that around. Colin Doyle, shorthanded opportunity. Coming back the other way, scooped up by Jeremy Thompson. Right on the floor.
He had the whole net there. Rose was out of position completely and had no idea where the ball was.
And they slow it down. 16 seconds left on the 30.
Well, he's got to take that shot.
And Nick Rose, not the quickest goaltender, but someone who very much plays his angles. Giveaway there, Johnny Lintz picking off an ill-advised pass. Nick Rose trying to force it into Josh Sanderson, not the biggest target, and picked off nicely by Johnny Lintz. And 40 seconds left in this power play, 26 seconds left in the quarter. Corey Conway. Matthews. Over to Church, crossbar and down. Scooped up by Toronto Rock and off to the races. Big stop by Bold. And Sandy Chapman in on him early.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the third quarter, give it up for your
11 seconds to go in the Edmonton Rush power play. We're tied at 6 after 3 quarters. Shots are 37 for the Rush, 33 for the Toronto Rock, and we're in for a doozy.
Looks like Derek Keenan's challenged that last shot that went off the crossbar. He must think that ball bounced inside behind the line after it hit the bar. Went bar down to the floor. I didn't see where it landed when it went down, but...
Well, it's interesting. I guess I didn't see when that actual challenge flag was thrown.
They just threw it, and it doesn't look like LeBranch is going to accept it. I don't think he got it out in the 20 seconds.
Because there is a 20-second time limit after the play actually happens. Usually it's a disallowed goal, so it's pretty clear to backtrack of when the actual flag was going to be thrown. But it looks like LeBranch says no, and we will be back with the doozy of a fourth quarter that we have teed up for you. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
The next Edmonton Rush home game is next weekend as the Rush hosts the Vancouver Stealth on Saturday here at Rexall Place. Game time 7 p.m. For tickets, visit edmontonrush.com.
And Sandy Chapman coming to take this draw against Jeremy Thompson, who comes away with it quite cleanly. And we're going to see an abbreviated power play. 5-on-5 now. Out comes LeBlanc. So the Edmonton Rush offense sets it up. Curtis Knight going to the net hard. Pass over. Low and wide open net and shoots it wide.
That's a great look by Knight. That's what Edmonton needs to do more of, Ken. We've been talking about it. They need to cross the floor with that ball instead of staying up and down the one side all the time.
Yeah, we haven't seen many backdoor plays, and I haven't noticed if Toronto's actually doing a great job of blocking that out or really taking away the creases, but it's just something that has not gone down diagonally for backdoor plays.
I didn't see what happened here. It might have been an unsportsmanlike. Did he throw the ball away? They're arguing it. Whatever the call is, Edmonton doesn't like it.
Nick Billick having a seat.
Nick Billick, 2 minutes for a delay of game.
That's exactly what happened.
So one of the new rule changes along with that 8-second rule, Chris?
Yeah, you need to put when the whistle's blown, you have to put the ball down. It's a dead ball. You can't hold it in your stick for an extra second or two. You can't roll it. You need to put it right down and get away from it.
So now Toronto coming back on the power play, and Toronto is 2 for 2. Big shot set up by Josh Sanderson right down to Colin Doyle. Colin Doyle up at the top now behind the net. Up over to Billings, a dangerous Billings, and he had that whole top corner, and that's where he was shooting, could not get that away.
Yeah, he just didn't have the sight set. He knew where he wanted to go. He just missed it by a 1.5 feet.
Representing off an Edmonton player remains in Toronto Hall.
Josh Sanderson on the left side, moves it over to Colin Doyle, backpedaling now. Squeezes that into Casey Behrens, the natural goal scorer. He's got three on the night.
This power play is really setting up slow this time, Kevin. and Edmonton's not forcing it. The ball's not moving.
Oh, what a shot by Josh Sanderson! Buries it top corner. What an elusive sidearm shot, crossbody to the top right corner. Unbelievable shot by the Hall of Famer.
There's no way that any goalie would ever make that save, because the odds are that he can't get that stick across his body to hit that short side. When he drops it down sidearm here, every goalie's thinking far side. So to pull it back like that is an unbelievable goal.
And Josh Sanderson, nicknamed Shooter, has one of the most accurate shots in the league. Not the hardest by any means, but wow, what a shot on that power play for the 7th goal for this Toronto Rock team.
Let's go!
Riley going off the boards, rebound, Barry. What a diving effort by Jared Davis to tie this game at 7.
That's a great response by the Edmonton Rush. That's exactly what they needed to come back and do. You get a goal scored on you, you come right back, drive to the net, miss the initial shot, but the rebound off the backboards. Nick Rose had no chance on that play. Great answer to the Toronto power play goal.
Great hand-eye coordination shown there by Jared Davis. Great concentration watching that bounce off the backboards, getting a stick on it, and having the awareness to put it on in the yawning cage. Mark Matthews coming down with the shot. Loose ball battle here. Got Johnson tripped up, scoops it ahead.
You gotta be careful with the 8-second here.
And that's exactly what they get caught on. Mark Matthews now calling consistency. There's no consistency. Of course, Edmonton Rush screaming at the referee about delay a game call, and of course Toronto gets away with one there.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy call in my opinion on Sandy Chapman there.
Loose ball, terrible set. And that was Hostrauser getting stripped. Good offensive set, good offensive awareness. 2-man game up top.
Oh, they're really picking on Hostrauser right now.
And out comes Nick Rose, just scooping.
Great pass, great backhand pass.
And here comes Jesse Gamble, working hard, bold with the solid stop, moving it up to Rubish. Here comes a 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Rubish stopped by Nick Rose.
Wow, the Toronto coaching staff would have lost their mind if that would have went in. They had 3 players on the floor. Guys were trapped on the bench. They had a huge mix up there. Nick Rose just bailed them out big time.
And here comes Toronto. Stephon LeBlanc moving to Colin Doyle. Over to Garrett Billings on the sideboards. Played well by John LaFontaine. Cornwall getting a little bit out of position. But of course he's got the athletic ability and the speed to get back if he gives up one step. Jeremy Thompson with a rip from the outside. He scores! Huge rip by Jeremy Thompson, doing it himself to once again take this lead.
What a great shot by Thompson. Took the ball in transition, rolled through the middle, goes back to the side he came from, hits the top corner on Rose. Now it looks like we got Johnson down, and my guess is that Johnson might not really be injured. This is a play that every team uses. It's a smart play to change momentum after a couple quick goals. We won't say he's faking the injury, but we'll say that he probably could have got himself off the floor if he really wanted to.
And back to this Jeremy Thompson goal. Here's showing his transition ability, just stepping over from his wrong side, taking 4 steps into it and ripping one.
And as you can see on the replay there, Johnson didn't touch anybody. He just jogged to the crease after they scored. So clearly they're delaying it a bit, and Edmonton's getting on the ref too. Derek Keenan doesn't like this at all. He's looking for a delay here.
And any stoppage is a momentum killer in this game. And again, well, Toronto not wanting to let this momentum get away. They want to keep it within the 1 goal. Answer right away and keep this game at bay, because this Edmonton Rush defense so solid. They have the ability to just shut the game down and not give any any leakage.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be behind Edmonton 3 or 4 with 6 or 7 minutes left. It'd be tough to come back on this defense. And again, Jeremy Thompson, great in the face-off circle.
So Thompson now facing off against Ethan O'Connor.
Toronto doesn't have an answer for Thompson right now. They're trying everyone and anyone just to get a little bit of a bump on him or change the momentum in the circle.
Or just trying to, at least break even, like keep the ball loose and give their wingman an opportunity to get that loose ball. Over to Zach Greer, one-on-one ISO play. Good rip from the outside. Working hard against Damon Edwards.
Edmonton's really come to life since the Toronto power play goal, and you don't usually see that. Usually that gets the team fired up that scores the goal, but Edmonton's been all over Toronto ever since Sanderson put that one in off the post.
Here's Billings working from the sideboard. Up to Josh Sanderson and in through Colin Doyle. He's going to the hole when he's got half a step underneath. Such a big body. Picked off by Dilks. Here he comes. Two on two. Probably going to slow it down. Wait for bodies to come in. Over to Lowen.
Smart play by Dilks to pull it out. No need to rush it. There's lots of time left on the shot clock. Get your offensive guys out there. Let them have a go at it.
Lowen moves. Oh, shoots and scores! Running across the middle. Just one fake. Nick Rose bit hard on it, pulling it back short side.
Well, and that's what Edmonton needs to do. They need to be cutting the middle and getting their feet going. Riley Lowen's got a quick first step. He's done that about 3 times tonight where he's cut to the middle and come right down the center lane. And a great goal.
Really a slow break, and Riley Lowen just kept going to the net, had a big opportunity and took advantage of it. Great Barry for his second goal of the game.
Edmonton has all the momentum right now. They're looking a little tired, a little haggard. They need to get their composure back if they want to take this game down to the final moments.
And here's Edmonton offense, keep coming. Matthews over, Zachary behind the back, good stop by Nick Rose, and a loose ball picked up by Church. And Toronto getting the ball now.
Edmonton's offense is working a lot harder now. I even like the way they're pressing once they lose possession of the ball.
It seems every time they lose the ball, there's a little urgency. They want it back. That's the difference. And where Toronto was outworking them in the first half, the tables have definitely turned.
Yeah, they found another gear, that's for sure.
Big stop by Bull, the rip from the outside, picked up by Rubish. Moving the other way, LaFontaine with it now, coming up the far side. Met quickly by Belton. Over to Matthews. Gonna work against Sandy Chapman. Holds up, gives it to Knight. Knight gonna work a 2-man game. Conway with it now. The hard pass. Curtis Knight, spin move, shot, missed the net by about 6 inches. And Nick Rose playing pretty solid, but this Edmonton Rush offense is giving this defense more than they can handle right now. They are buzzing with the 2-goal lead with 8:12 to play. You are watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Rock home game is 2 weeks from tonight on Saturday, March 15th. As the Rock hosts the Rochester Nighthawks. Game time at Air Canada Centre, 7 p.m. For tickets, visit torontorock.com.
And that was quite the intermission. Longtime Rush employee, Andrea Hogan, getting engaged on the kiss cam.
Yeah, I gotta say that's probably a first at a Rush game. I can't remember anyone getting proposed to before at one of these.
Well, she said yes, for those of you that maybe were on pins and needles waiting the response. But here comes the Toronto Rock offense, back to work. Kyle Rubish picks up the ball, over to Dilks, moving up the floor, and Matthews and Knight hard off the... Dilks, a big shot from the outside. Loose bottle. Dilks, and there you see the swarmingness of this Toronto defense, really working hard to get that ball back, and and they're going to need to get going. Just goals don't come that often, and so they're going to have to find an answer here quickly. The odds of getting two back-to-back are pretty slim against this tight defense. Jeremy Thompson picks up a loose ball over to Nick Billick. Pump, buries it on Nick Rose. Top shelf, great patience shown by Nick Billick. No goal. Goal's waved up, and of course, Derek Keenan instantly throws the challenge flag. Great patience shown by Billick.
I want to see the replay on that. I thought that goal was good.
Well, Nick Billick showed great patience. 2 hard pumps, waited for Nick Rose to fall down and drop his shoulder, and came up over top and buried that in the top half of the net. And here we see LeBranch putting the headset on, and the equivalent of going under the cover in NFL to have a couple good looks at this. And
yeah, well, and of course, the call being no goal on the field, we're going to have to see some conclusive evidence that it was a goal for the call to change.
Oh, I think that's a good goal.
I think it is. Oh, well, that angle maybe not. That angle looked like his toe might have touched.
You see his left foot.
That's close. You got to look at the overhead.
Whoa!
Oh, the tip of his shoe is white, so it's tough to.
Oh, that's a good goal. You can see green.
I think it's good. I think that shot there is conclusive. Well, that one though.
I think from that one view, you can see a line of green in between his shoe and the crease. I think that's a good goal, but it was called no goal on the field.
Right. So LeBranch is going to. I mean, the one angle looks like it might be, and the other one looks like it clearly isn't. So.
And interesting, of course, Keenan challenges this one. The one that he missed the challenge on in that second half. Here comes the call.
Oh,
no, LeBranch. So
wasn't conclusive. You know what? And these refs here, folks, they're like Major League Baseball umpires. You know what? Their calls are so close, and they're usually right 95% of the time. That one could have went either way. If he calls that a goal on the field, Toronto challenges it, and it holds up, I think.
Yeah. So here comes Billings, big rip from the outside, he scores! Beating Aaron Bold 5-hole just like that. Garrett Billings, all sorts of time, lets one fly from the outside.
Well, and I'm sure Bold would like that one back. You never want to let one through the wickets from 40 feet out. But right there's a 2-goal swing. There's a 2-goal swing right there. It's either 10-7 Rock or Rush, I should say, or now 9-8 Rush.
And here's Jeremy Thompson continuing his dominance in the face-off dot, getting possession for his squad. Mark Matthews with the ball now, moving it down left side. Big rip from the outside. Nick Rose getting a chest on that.
That's the first time Matthews has had any room to fire that shot.
Now Billings, always dangerous with the ball. Working hard against Mitski. Up to LeBlanc. He's going to take it to that left side where Josh Sanderson's waiting there with a big post. You see Garrett Billings working hard with Casey Beard. Big rip! Stopped by Bold.
So what's happening here?
Equipment timeout, it looks like.
That was just taken by Edmonton, went squarely
Looks like Nick Rose pointing to his helmet.
So he's going to have the trainer come out and have a look at it.
He did get that one in the mask, or right in the upper chest, so it might have been his throat guard, maybe.
Either the throat collar or strap might have busted on the side, depending where it hit the helmet. Oh, it looks like they're working on the cage. I didn't think he took that off the cage.
Remember some other one of the great goaltenders of this league, Bobby Watson, used to take a couple in the mask. I remember he had the ball lodged in his mask, I think, twice.
That was the days of the old spider cage, right?
Yes, those days are gone. I don't know how many butt ends and balls it took to actually change that rule, but yeah, definitely wasn't a safe piece of headwear. Especially with the velocity some guys can throw it at this league, and of course the round ball changing to an oval at certain speeds. They didn't really factor that one in on the design.
Well, we've seen that a ton of times, that's for sure.
Here comes the Edmonton Rush. Riley Lowen moving over Mark Matthews on this left side. Big pick by Zach Greer. Back to Matthews. Wide open, buries it! Curtis Conway left wide open in front of the net. Makes no mistake. Burying it to restore the 2-goal lead.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier in the game, too. They need to swing that ball right to left, right to left. Right there, they throw it from the right side to the left side, back to the right side. Corey Conway wide open underneath. When that ball gets swinging, defenders get turned around and they lose their men. They need to do, I mean, there's only 5.5 minutes left now, but that's what's going to win this game.
Well, ball movement gets the heads turning, and great finish by Corey Conway for his second goal of the game. And out comes Damon Edwards, very athletic and quick, moving it over. Johnson, he scores! Fast break transition goal, 2-on-1. Edwards moves it over to Johnson, and he buries one 5-hole for the Rock.
Now this game's getting exciting. We're going back and forth here now, and this is great. I mean, this is what you want to watch. This is what you come out to see, is the speed of the game. And now the teams have loosened up a bit, and they're going at it now. They both want this win. We know Edmonton wants it. They want to be the first team to go 8-0 since the 93 Bandits. And Toronto needs their first road win because they know they got a tough match again tomorrow in Calgary down at the Saddle Dome.
In come the Edmonton Rush with the ball. Conway working hard again, one-on-one against Sandy Chapman. Swinging it to the left side. Matthews rips one off the post. Big shot. Edmonton ball again.
Shot off the goalie. It is Rush ball, Rexall.
Fresh 30, going to work over this defense a little bit longer. Up to Zach Greer. And this offense just content to spread it out and take their turn going hard to the net. Here's Church. Matthews missed that pass. No easy loose balls when Sandy Chapman's around. He's all over the hands. Good loose ball by Church over to Lowen, working hard. Tries behind the back.
Great defense. Got his stick in his hands. Didn't give him an opportunity to take a shot.
Great defense by Bill Greer, the brother of Edmonton Rush number 88, Zach Greer. A couple brothers playing against each other. Garrett Billings working the two-man game with Hellier. Outside shot by Colin Doyle, who really has gotten it going this evening. Pretty quiet night from the captain.
And you know what? Last 5 or 6 shots, Toronto's been firing it at Bold's feet. Obviously, the coaching's seeing something down there, and the players are seeing something that he's not finding it in his feet or something, because the last 2 have gone in through there, and they're firing at his toes right now.
And here comes Jesse Gamble. Little bit of a track meet, back and forth. Some transitions players get some shots. Big shot from the outside, stopped by Bold, picks it up, comes out swinging. Moving the ball up the floor. Over to Curtis Knight, going to take it to his strong side, which is that left side of the floor, being a right-handed player. Matching up against Sandy Chapman. Back and forth with Church. Two-man game developing. Little screen shot from the outside. Chapman with the loose ball, moving around the crease. Great offensive strip by Church to get that ball back. Moving it around. Riley Lowen with the ball now again. Settling things down. 20 seconds left on 30. 3 minutes left in the game. The Rush with the 1-goal lead.
They got Sanderson trapped out there on defense. Edmonton needs to take advantage of this right now.
Matthews caught out there on his wrong side. Tip 0, 30-second violation. Edmonton Rush up by 1 goal against the Toronto Rock with 2:43 to play. You are watching the National Lacrosse League live on the Lacrosse Network.
Our game here is the only game on tonight's NLL schedule, but the action resumes tomorrow night with a pair of games at 9 Eastern. Colorado hosts Rochester, while Toronto drives down Highway 2, faces Calgary. Watch them both live here on the Lacrosse Network.
And we've seen a little bit of a pickup of pace here in this second half. We've seen 4 goals from the Edmonton Rush here in the fourth quarter alone, 3 goals for the Toronto Rock. And you know what, really it's been a 5-on-5 battle. When power plays have been called upon, they've made teams really count, so you really want to stay out of the box.
Yeah, and I would say the fourth quarter, Edmonton's played great. They've clearly outshot Toronto. They just can't separate themselves from the Rock right now. The Rock, full of a bunch of older veterans, been around the league for a long time. They know how to settle things down. They know when to respond. And like we spoke about earlier, neither team's letting anyone get on a run. I don't think anyone's had 3 in a row tonight. 2 at the most.
Well, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, good teams answer quickly and stop the bleeding. They don't let runs go for longer than 1 or 2. Here's Hellier moving over to Billings, the very dangerous Billings, over to Casey Byrnes. He's got a hat trick tonight. Picked up by Corbeil, the captain, moving it up to center.
Great defense by Edmonton. Edmonton really aggressive on that one. They were 10 feet outside the restraining line pressing, which is always a risk reward because if you do get beat, there's going to be a guy with a lane to the net, but they made Toronto give the ball up.
And Matthews over to Lowen. Over to that right side, Mark Matthews, the big body, look, the big shot off the post.
Oh, and the Toronto defender could have got called for a hold there. He put his arm out and grabbed Matthews on the way by.
Now here's the urgency, those loose balls becoming so important. Only 3.5 possessions left in this game. Big stop by Aaron Bold. Now Edmonton Rush, give it to Jeremy Thompson.
Great save by Bold there.
Now the Rush setting it up. Just playing 4-on-4. The Rock have a player down deep. Conway moving his body, moving his feet. 5 on the 30. Jeremy Thompson shoots it on net. Here, Nick Rose coming up with it. And here comes Josh Sanderson trotting it up to center slowly.
There is 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter.
Big stop here. 6-on-5.
Moving the ball around. Colin Doyle
got
gets
it.
the shot. Big stop by Aaron Bold. 46 left in the game.
Open net.
Scores! Brett Minsky letting it fly from center. A little bit of insurance. Rush's 11th goal of the game. 43.2 seconds to play.
Always a risky move when your bench is the far one from the net. We know Nick Rose isn't going to get back in the net in time to stop anything like that. So Toronto knows when they pull Nick Rose, they're going to be going back with 6 defenders, and the chances of stopping that are next to impossible.
A little bit of insurance, but whoa, big possession call. I was going to say, this is where face-offs become so important. And Scott Johnson getting that possession call late, going the other way. Casey Byrnes rips it home. Stefan LeBlanc throws a wicked sidearm short side to pull within 1, beating Aaron Bold.
And that's how quick it happens in this game, folks. 10 seconds ago, it looked like Edmonton had wrapped this up, but here we are now with 33 seconds, 1-goal game again, and this is where the draw is crucial. Thompson gets the draw, look for the Rush to call their timeout in the second half and set up a plan to kill the clock.
And it's a 1-possession game. Whoever gets possession here, either Toronto gets another opportunity or, like you say, Edmonton spreads the floor and just kills the clock.
And right now, Thompson's content just to kill time in the circle. Oh.
And Jesse Gamble coming up. Aaron Bold, big stop! Trapping the ball. Loose ball trap. What's Greg Hart calling?
Rush ball.
So now Jeremy Thompson look for the quick timeout.
No, they're not calling it with 10 seconds left. I'm a little surprised.
And content to air mile. What?
Oh, I can't believe Toronto called a timeout on that play.
What's going on?
Well, I looked at the clock when the whistle was blowing. There was 5 seconds left. But they were off to the races. They had a good 3-on-2 opportunity. And there was a timeout called. I'm not sure what the Rush were doing, why they wouldn't call a timeout there. Spread the floor, kill the clock. start the music, this game would be over.
Yeah, and then on the other side, someone on the Toronto bench made a mistake because the bench went crazy when the timeout got called. There's no way that call should ever be made. He would have had a lot of time for a shot there, and like you said, it was a 3-on-2. He was coming right up the middle.
So now Blaine Manning, offensive coach for this Rock team, bringing everyone in.
But they're going to have to start at center. They're going to be really pressed here to get it in.
4.8 seconds to go. The Edmonton Rush with a 1-goal lead. Going to be setting up a good 6-on-5 play. Rush have their top 5 defenders on here, hoping to hold the fort. Ball comes into Colin Doyle. Moving out, working around. Elvi shot, big stop by Aaron Bold. Rush win their 8th straight, undefeated on the season, tying the 93 Buffalo Bandits. You've just witnessed history, folks.
What an incredible game. Started out slow, started out sloppy, but in the second half, we got some pro lacrosse. The teams ran hard. They battled for absolutely every inch, every loose ball. And in the end, it was whoever had the last shot, basically, that was going to win it because the balls were starting to drop in the net.
Great battle. The fans here at Rexall, you folks at home, were treated to a great game tonight. I really think it came down to special teams being the difference. I mean, any team that had a power play or an odd man advantage, they really made it count.
Yeah, early on, that's all we had in the game. I think early on we were looking at about 4 power play goals each, an extra attacker for Toronto as well. But then transition took over. Jeremy Thompson stepped it up in the fourth quarter. The floor opened up. Toronto ran some transition. But really, the story was special teams and goaltending in the end.
Well, the Edmonton Rush win 11-10, the 3 stars of the night. Your third star, Chris.
Third star, Casey Behrens with 3 goals, had lots of opportunities, was running really well, passing. I thought he had a great game when some of the other guys were quiet on his team. Second star, Riley Lowen.
Riley Lowen, big body, and did a great job of not only burying a couple, he was on the board for 2 goals. He got the first goal of the game and a couple assists, but did a great job of freeing up Curtis Knight and allowing his other offensive players to do a lot of the work.
And the first star, Aaron Bold, really it could have went either way, but Aaron Bold gets the win. I thought Nick Rose played well. Aaron Bold, though, made the saves when he had to. He let a couple in the fourth, but at the end, he closed the wickets. They couldn't get anything by him, and Rush are 8-0, second time in league history.
This Edmonton Rush team had a real tough start. I mean, both teams did. Pretty much took them almost the first half to get their sticks and their legs under them and get composed enough to make two passes in a row, because it was a very sloppy game. But all in all, the second half wrapped up, and it was a very good, tight battle with came right down to the wire. And what else can you ask for? Great game here at Crystal Glass Field at Rexall Place. Edmonton Rush again go to 8-0, tying a league record set by the Buffalo Bandits. And oddly enough, next week Buffalo Bandits come to town, so Buffalo will have a chance to either make or break that record. They can tie it, or it can be the Rush's to own for the season. On behalf of Chris Dashnick, our on-site engineer Troy Buller, and myself, Kevin Howard, thank you very much for joining us on the Lacrosse Network tonight. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.